Hi there. Is it going? Nope. That's how every video starts. Okay, so I'm in the apartment bathroom and I'm doing my laundry. And I'm letting you into my world of, oh, you can't see me, can you? That's fine. I'll be down there soon. So that people can understand. This is my world, right? I'm here because, Laura needs me to be here. She's still in high school, and so that's my primary activity, right? I'm here because I'm raising my daughter. I should have done more laundry. I actually have been doing loads of laundry up at the house up there. But, it's the season change just like everywhere. So, like, you have to, right? So, anyway, I was getting my summer clothes, like, put away. And here, because of the environment that I'm in, like, I'm in this apartment complex and everything, like, they make noises in the apartment. The media that comes in on the television, computer, that's all manipulated, right? And like I'll do stuff like, oh wait, I'm not on camera. I'll do stuff like do my laundry, or I'll go work in the kitchen, and then, or I'll laugh at something that I see on television, and cars will start running, and planes will start going over the house, or they'll start, like, if they like an idea that I'm talking about in here, because I'm mic'd in here, I just don't know who can hear me. And, I've been babbling for years, thinking that, knowing that someone could hear me, and I thought that the whole world could hear me. So I thought that every personal, not even a secret. I mean, it's not even like I had any secrets. It's just stuff like, like stuff you wouldn't say in front of your mom, but you would say in front of your college buddies, kind of normal stuff, or when this whole thing started, my kids were in high school and junior high, and even talking to them about, like, the fact that I had my breasts redone. I wanted to wait until both of them had come into their own bodies before I had that conversation with them. And of course, that was completely bypassed, and people started to, they basically got my kids into some kind of a scenario where they're wanting me to say, oh, my breasts aren't real. Well, they are real. They're just not real human tissue. They're from Santa Barbara. Do you like them? But yeah, I breastfed both of those girls for as long as they wanted and as often as they wanted. And I had weight loss and weight gain prior to pregnancy anyway. And I thought at the time that I could afford it. I was newly divorced and ready to sort of have a little me time, fix myself up after the pregnancies and stuff. So I had a little work done. And that's my fucking business. And it was my fucking right to have the conversation with my own daughters about our bodies and why I made the choice that I made. I didn't make the choice because I was insecure about my breast size. I've always wanted to have a little bit more up top. Everybody's got something that they wish would be different, but it wasn't like, it was just that I had breastfed and there was just nothing really left. And it wasn't pretty, and I wanted to feel pretty. And I love them. Totally love them. And they're ridiculous, I know. But it's my fucking business, isn't it? And telling my kids was my fucking business. business too. Anyway, that's just like, there's this list. It goes on and on and on about just, oh no, they didn't. And yeah, oh yeah, they did. And then yesterday I found out. I never know what to believe. All right, so here's the news story. My grandfather, apparently was the Don of San Diego, and Papa was a Rolling Stone, Grandpapa was a Rolling Stone, wherever he laid his hat was his home, apparently, and had a little extra family in Hawaii. And apparently I have some cousins in DC. And I'm really excited about that. Oh my gosh. So, yeah. So anyway, good news is I've been surrounded by Secret Service my whole life anyway. So this should not be a big deal, really. Anyway, so hand washing. I do this frequently. A lot of the times the weird clothing that I'm wearing is because I just simply hate to go outside. What I would have to do in the case of this, I don't see quarters. There could be quarters in the house. But for me to do laundry in the apartment means that I have to go down. Every time I leave the door, scenarios start. Like people are there trying to get a message in front of me. And that's tedious, okay? But, you know, have to go get quarters in a public place. So to walk you through the steps, I'm going to have to go message, get to the car. I'm going to go to the supermarket. On the way, there's going to be all sorts of cars that are coming at me and trying to get my attention with some specific message, usually regarding what happened yesterday. And I'll go to the supermarket. There will be people in the parking lot again, there with a specific purpose, if not to get my attention, just to get in the shot. So people, I believe, are just trying to get me in a shot for the movies. And what I think is happening is that people around me are communicating to others what I currently understand. So I think, but I don't know, right? And that's my handicap. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I'll go supermarket, the music will change, there will be some message there, the people there, I'm going to have to go. Very typically, there's going to be some kind of problem with the debit card, the ATM card. Every time that I go purchase something, there's, somebody's trying to make some point about that. I'll be attentive to try and pick up the Starbucks coffee and to make sure that I notice the Nike shoes and the things that I think I recognize as big sponsors. Just to be obvious that I'm in the shot, like yesterday. I mean, like walking by the psychic reader, I'm just like, that's too funny. Okay, I get it, right? So I'm trying to be a good sport when I am outside, but like the daily stuff, it feels to me like I'm always on. I'm always on camera. And there are always noises and things that are in my space. And so my reaction over so many years, days, months, weeks, is that, when it's too much, I just don't go outside. And when it's really too much, I still need to go into like a dark closet and just shut it down, But anyway, that's why a lot of times it looks like I'm such a ragamuffin, and it looks like I have no fashion sense, and it looks like but I fucking hate to go outside now. I hate to go shopping. I hate having to, oh my God, it's like every fucking step, it's an issue. It's just like, it's not a pleasant way to engage with the world. And that's my whole point. As technology becomes available in our homes and it won't be a device like I'm sitting here talking to a laptop right now. I mean, this is going to have an ID, and this product is going to have an ID, and if we don't own our identities, our digital identities, and are able to manage our preferences, then this shit is going to happen. And it's been very damaging to me. The example, I'll go grab it. I'll be right back so we get the picture. Okay, so ID. I'm like, last night, I'm like, this is from the Home Depot. This is one of those little hang tags that you get when you buy a house plant. And it says, look, water usage, low, high, full to partial sun, temperature. This is how much space it needs, height and width. Tell me a little bit about it. It's continuously blooming, blah, blah, blah. There's a code here that I could scan to get hopefully more information. If not today, then later. So the point here is that all of this stuff now is going to be right here or right here. And my ID is going to be controlled by marketers. It already is. So when I go and make purchases at Target, they are tracking what I'm buying. And that may be an urban legend, the story about Target letting some parents know that their daughter was pregnant. They knew that their daughter was pregnant before they did because the flyers, or I guess email these days, started arriving with, pregnancy products. So anyway, these for-profit companies have all this information. What we don't have is this that says, I'm a low water person, or I'm high. I, of course, am high. Right, so this is what I'm talking about. This is API. This is the user interface. This is Belief DNA ID. And this says, this is how I am healthy. And if we can do this for plants, and we can do this for rescue animals, I am asking why we can't do it for human beings. The care that the rescue dogs receive at the rescue place where I was volunteering last year inspired my thinking on the modern nomad. Because I'm like, all of this gear is very inexpensive, and this is better than, this is what I was looking for when I was having my psychotic break and I was wandering around the streets. Food, clothing, shelter, basic stuff, medicines and sanitation and so forth. So one of the things we were talking about yesterday was the fact that I don't have really yet a hook into the All Souls Roll experience. I've put a lot of tweets out there, and I still don't have a physical location. I don't have an invitation to show my paintings, and I'm a painter. So if my paintings aren't there, I'm not there. Like that's my offering. Number one. That's my offering. That's all I've got to give you. It's my best. It's the best thing that I have to give you. Because from this work that I'm doing, I'm now an engineer. I'm re-engineering our information systems. via human experience design, which is the only thing that makes sense, right? So we're just going to go person by person, neighborhood by neighborhood. I just need a block, basically. But the concept is that it's social. It doesn't matter where I start. I just need a block. And there were plenty of options. I mean, plenty of options where you've either got a top stitch next to a garage, next to a hotel. There are behavioral health places that have church and, I mean, anything. We can do anything. We just have to start. Any neighborhood in an international city is going to have the connections to everything we need. Because this is not about big systems. Nobody's going to get the big happy Kelly surprise moment until Kelly's basic needs, survival needs, are met, right? And Kelly is playing Ava. And if you can get Kelly from city to city with a mental health illness, and Kelly's even given you the user interface for how because of the way I'm living right now, the thing that would be least shocking, right? And when you transplant, you've got to be careful because you can kill the plant. Is that I could go from an environment where I've been living for 5 years into something that's kind of similar. I can just go to hotels. And that's so hilarious that it turns out that I'm like related to the Hilton, whatever, legacy mega billions. So how funny, huh? You guys are like all like elbowing each other. They're like, be our guest, be our guest. She fucking did your business better than you did. Ha ha ha. I know, neighborhood concierge. Ha ha. So I guess I get you back. I think it was the Conrad Hilton clan that has been dicking around with my heart. Is that right? Is the people that really broke my heart were from that line of the family? Is that what I'm understanding? Anyway, so this is my little ha-ha. I know, right? And that's the thing. That's the thing about having a pure heart. And they made so much fun of me when I was talking about relationships. And I'm like, there is something about how the kids are doing it these days with the apps and the sort of deconstructing sexuality from social and economic systems that are necessary for survival, right? There's something in that is really, really pure. And when you talk to people who are sort of on a spiritual path and they're struggling, not struggling, and with struggling, I mean, that's a very good word. To struggle with a spiritual idea is a very, very good thing. It's a privilege, right? So if you're struggling with the idea of, how can it be that this is so clearly showing signs of life, right? This is where we're failing. And the reason why we're failing, and the reason why this part of the body keeps showing up in my paintings, I'm sure of it now, is that this is the part of the body, the mind-body connection, right? And we are so in our heads with all of the information technology that here I am right now, and I think I'm finally starting to make a connection here with this experience, realizing, of course, that I don't ever get to talk to anyone. I don't. If I try to say something about what's happening in my world, I'm told that it's not happening, and that's not healthy, right? Right. So I have no one to talk to. So I've created this scenario where I can engage with other people who are also creating characters. The only inauthentic thing about that is that the premise is that I knew these people, right? That's the premise. So that allows me to start engaging with other human beings in a way that doesn't destroy your fantasy game. It's a win-win. It's a smart solution, I think. But again, I don't even think that I don't know. I'm supposed to go to Watts tomorrow, and I have an old friend from, I don't know, but who knows who those people are? I'm an old friend from college. It's like, I can't even like, I can meet up with people that I've known, like acquaintances, and it, you know, the thought of like trying to talk to like my brother or a former boyfriend or a former friend, and then find out that those people were actively engaged in deceiving me is simply more than this mental health recovering person can manage right now. And like the information that was being presented to me yesterday, that is so healthy at a higher level of our hierarchy of needs pyramid. And I know, right? I keep coming back to like, I've taken a survey class in architecture, I've taken a survey of sort of business concepts, I've taken a survey of psychology, right? I've never taken anything more than psychology 101, but everything that I'm talking about is based upon that little pyramid that I learned, which is to say that people who are still struggling with survival needs are never going to engage in a conversation about clean energy. The fastest way for environmental people to push their agenda is to take care of food, clothing, and shelter. The fastest way for us to reform government is to provide food, clothing, and shelter, the basic necessities of life. The least expensive, way more productive, and way more fun way to provide for national defense is to make sure that the people of the world have food, clothing, shelter, medicine, sanitation, the basic things. Because no one is going to have a conversation about a higher level topic. Nobody's going to have a conversation about economics or banking, government reform. I mean, it's all such a fucking mess. And it's so corrupt and it's so jacked up. The only way that we're going to get centered as a human species is by figuring this out. And my invitation to you is use me as a case study. I'm a highly functioning mental health patient. I'm working. If I'm prepared, I'll go outside. I'm not able to be on 24/7. I too need to have some rhyme and reason. It was so funny last night, my Freudian slip or whatever, I said rhyme and rhythm, and that is actually more accurate. I need some rhythm, some understanding, some user interface. There's been nothing in this experience, and it's like, and it sucks, right? Because here you are, they're flying planes over your head, and they're doing these scenarios, they're doing all this stuff, and they keep telling me it's for you. It's for you. But I can't appreciate it. I can't be a part of the fun while I'm still dependent on this dysfunctional situation where I'm still here. I'm still fucking sitting in a closet most of my days. Because there's no way for me to engage with the world in a way that isn't toxic. So, I'm going to just keep repeating myself. People always make fun of me repeating myself, and now that I'm a teacher actor or whatever, that's called rehearsal. So I'll keep rehearsing to make sure that I can be sort of, I know, because what happens is when I'm in public, and that's why I like hung out at the casino for a while, I'll do that more. Like I'll go to places like hotel lobbies where I can hang out and I'll just talk like this. I think it would be more interesting if there were another person like that I was talking to. But I'm not in the entertainment business. Just a thought. I was just thinking, wow, she would look a lot less crazy if she was actually talking to someone. We can work on that. Let's work on that. Anyway, I'm not asking for a handout. I'm asking for what everybody's asking for. A lifeline, just like a hook into something, just a place to hang on. You know, I matter. I matter. I'm homeless. I have a mental disease. I matter. I'm an at-risk kid? Fuck you. Really? You're going to call me an at-risk kid? And I'm going to live up to that, right? And you're not an at-risk kid. You're an untapped resource. And I am a minor. And, haha, I'm a minor for minors. Ooh, doesn't that sound creepy? That sounds very gangster. Human trafficking. I'm going to take your inventory out of your prisons. I'm going to take the inventory out of our public schools. I got it. See, the thing about it is that I come from a family of gangsters, and I've figured out what the next gold rush is. And I'm just looking for some partners. Partner. That's for you, Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, scary ass Hilton people. Perez Hilton. Oh my God. You guys are killing me with this. Literally, you're killing me. I know, I want to do a dialect coach. I always want to do it. It's just, I just need to listen. I just need to watch some more things. Okay. That's so funny. The bad accents. I hate it. All right, I'm going to finish my laundry. Oh, right. Anyway, so I find myself in this situation, right? So I've spent a lot of time on the streets during my psychotic break, and I've spent a lot of time in confined spaces. So I have ideas about how we can help modern nomads, because when you pare it down, the needs of a camper, the needs of a traveling hotel guest, the needs of a homeless person are very, very similar. And right, how could that possibly be? Oh, right, centered around the needs of a human being. My thought here is that we get nobody does laundry like this well, there's lots of people in the world that do, probably not so much in the U.S., but so here's a couple of ideas. Number one, who hasn't been, traveling somewhere and they're in the hotel room and they need to do this, right? And so I was just like, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have some kind of little thing, like they have at the gym that you can get the water out of your swimsuits? Like if there were just a little sort of station where you could do just a little quick hand wash and dry, that would be really handy. For a lot of people who just have just a suitcase full of basic stuff, and as long as you get that water out of it, then, that would be handy. And that would be a handy little device that could be used in a number of different places. That was one thought that I had. And another thought that I had was, let's do community laundry. I mean, is there anyone who's so attached? Whirlpool's not going to be happy about this. But is there anybody that's really attached to doing their laundry? Like if we could just have a laundry truck and you just put your bags out and it gets picked up and returned to you. Because if we do it that way, we can be a lot greener, I think. I think that we can introduce, public laundry. Anyway, I think it's a good experiment to try. I believe that we could, and that's what we could do. Like, what if we were to take like the laundry numbers from one block and the laundry numbers from another block, and we could just track the water usage. We could track things like water usage, customer satisfaction, and just say, okay, this is how much neighborhood A spent on laundry, and this is how much neighborhood B spent on laundry. And here's how we introduced efficiencies and blah, 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 blah. You follow? Because, why am I thinking this way? Because I am a mental health patient who's afraid to go outside, and she's living in a house without clean clothing. And if I had support, which you guys are arranging because I'm running for president, and typically this would not be something that I would do unless I do this in a neighborhood, right? That's the point. That's the whole point, is that, whatever it takes, right? Because that's how gangs got formed in the first place. You just figure it out. You just get it done. When you can't rely upon the police, you can't rely upon, any structure, then you figure out how to get it done. I mean, you can't live being threatened by other gangs and the police force. How would you survive? If you were 15, how on earth would you survive? And if you provide people with alternatives, and I'm not talking about like boring alternatives, I'm talking about who wants to quit school and go on the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad trip? Because I want to go from the Deep South to safety. I want to move at nighttime with some GED folks, some folks who need to get their GED. And we're going to move at nighttime, and we're going to have the benefit of flashlights and, oh my God, we'll have the benefit of roads, well, and we're going to say, holy shit, this is what this was like. This is fucked up, right? And so we'll get that visceral, that I'm emotionally invested in this. And that's what we want, right? When people are emotionally invested, change can happen. But when people get beaten down, as I have been, there's no hope. Why? And that's the point. It's not, and it makes me so angry when they're, the younger generations don't want, I didn't even vote until like 2 elections. What, have I voted twice now? Like, I never thought it mattered. I thought it was all fucking corrupt and it didn't matter. But then I was like, oh, well, I'm an adult. I really need to participate. And, that's the kind of sort of like, mommy voice in your head. That's not, holy shit, this is the greatest fucking idea of a country that's ever existed. Like, this thing was set up so that peoples from anywhere could live in harmony with liberty and justice for all. And I think that's a phenomenal brand. I think that's fucking hot. It's just that our brand has gotten off center. I mean, it's just, it's this old brand that needs to be revitalized. So think about what happened to Chanel? What happened to, which one did Tom Ford do? I know I'm so sorry. Burberry was a stodgy old brand, and it suddenly became this, hip and trendy thing. And that's why, Gwen makes such a good choice in terms of styling, because, she is contemporary and with it, and her fashion influences are multicultural, right? Like us. Our influences are multicultural, and our politics are so fucking bland and white guy weird. Even our girls look like old white dudes. You know what I mean? Like, they don't look like pinups. So, I'm just saying, pinups have savoir-faire and know how to get things done. As our elder diva taught us, just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Ah, Mary Poppins. Mary Pimpin' Poppins. I know, right? It's like at some point someone's going to go, oh my God, you know, she started speaking in tongues at some point in July and she's been like crying and shaking and whirling around and actually being quite a good sport about it. But the woman really needs a hug. It's just like someone to talk to. Oh, gee. It's my theory that the whole, like, speaking in tongues thing happened because otherwise I would have perished. And that's why I was like, oh, dude, man, am I that far gone? I was like, I've invented this thing because I'm so fucking lonely. Oh my God. But I don't think so. I do think it is actually. Because I feel like I'm speaking rationally. I feel like I'm in this really, really insane situation. And I've somehow managed to, I don't know. I know, but that's the thing. It's like a mirror into a mirror. It's like, you know, this thing is so dense. It's like to get a machete through, like what's real and what's not real. And the only way I could get grounded, the only way I could get centered is to start like connecting at a level of sound and color. And it was so unbearable. And so then, that's how it started. It's like I can't focus on this, or this, because it's too painful. So instead, I will focus on this, and that. Being sound, color, and then I know that's where all language comes from. So it's cool. Like, I'm discovering stuff. I just got to figure out how to get out of here in a way that's not traumatizing. For fuck's sake, I'm like, let's see, I've been having visions of angels, speaking in tongues, and like, that isn't strange at all. I mean, that wouldn't be sort of a weird thing for somebody to have to deal with just by itself. Oh, but as long as you're dealing with that, we just thought we'd tell you that your grandfather was living next to you your entire life in secret, and part of the reason why you've had this tragic lack of male leadership in your life, or any leadership in your life, is because they were so fucking busy. It's just soul-crushing despair. Yeah, that's what they told me yesterday. I'm like, are you kidding me with this shit? Is it not clear how I'm living? But by all means, please continue to shock the hell out of me with information that I couldn't possibly process. Oh, terrific. What am I supposed to do with that information now? It's just more and more and more and more shit. It's just a funny. It's just so funny that it's so tragic and it's hilarious. And I'm sitting here wearing a skirt as a dress. Running for POTUS 2016. And I'm gonna win. I mean, I'll have the option to win. We'll see how we actually want to play it out. But, right? Because... Oh my God. Alrighty. Okay, I'm almost finished then. So I will not be stinky anymore. And I gotta figure out what, if anything, I'm going to be doing in Los Angeles this weekend. I don't think it makes sense to go to Watts. Well, okay, so he lives in that neighborhood, or at least he's pretending to live in that neighborhood. I don't, okay, cool beans, right? If he lives in the neighborhood, then cool. I just don't want to show up in somebody's neighborhood and they'll be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just show up to somebody's neighborhood and build an altar if you're not invited. You know what I mean? Like, duh. Miss America, here she is. Miss America. Run out of space to hang things. Oh, it's such a yucky mess. Okay. Well, one at a time. I'll come back for this. Ew. Freaking in the No, dinner time. I haven't done it yet. Got wet clothes for tomorrow. Yeah. Nope. Persevere. Let's get this done here. Somehow without annoying my neighbors. Oh, I could drip it into the plant outside. That would be water-wise. Okay, bye guys. Ita.